Welcome back, folks, to Let's Replay Mystic Quest, and when last we left off, Jim and Lester were successful in avenging Amanda's death by killing Davias. Unfortunately, Davias had already handed off the pendant to Garuda, and so Garuda is flying over Mount Rocks to deliver it to Julius and Dark Lord back at Empire Glaive. And we really don't want that to happen, mainly because if it does, the world will be plunged into chaos and doom. And we really don't want chaos and doom. And so, Jim alone is heading through this cave system, because Chocobo won't come through caves. You don't have Chocobo for very long, which is par for the course for all of our companions. But maybe we'll find another companion along the way that will help us out. Or maybe we'll be by ourselves for a while. Either way, we need to press forward and fight this mage. Your fireballs are entirely ineffective, but my spinning sword is completely effective against you. Although we are very vulnerable to getting hit by the enemy while we're spinning this sword around, so it's not always the best ability to use. We need to switch to fire magic here because we're going to be using a fair amount of it before we leave. For instance, oh, there are no enemies in here. There's normally enemies in here. They're the cloud enemies that you need to use fire to defeat. But today, there are no foes at all. They have left, never to be seen again. That suits me. Let's move on and enter into this room. And in here are enemies that we do need to use fire on. So let's get started, shall we? That enemy only took one, but this enemy may take several. And while I could use the ice ability on them, we won't get any experience, and I like getting experience. And so, we use our MP to destroy you, and then I'll just use an ether to restore it. We will need our MP for the boss. The boss isn't exactly difficult in the sense that it has a very predictable pattern, but it has a very large hitbox and it deals a lot of damage when it collides with you. And would you kindly perish, sir? Thank you very much. Let us use that ether, shall we? We have plenty of them. Might as well start using them. And then we'll switch back to, I think we'll switch back to fire, and we might as well have the silver sword equipped for now, as we'll probably find more enemies that are weak to it. Like, for instance, these enemies. And now we are down one enemy. We definitely don't want them to afflict us with Moogle. And that is one hit, no Moogle there, and you are gone. And here is the boss, the Metal Crab. We definitely want to have the Wind Spear equipped here, mainly because we can use it at a considerable range. All the Metal Crab does is move from the top to the bottom, and then the bottom to the top. It has no ranged attacks, and its only form of attack is that it just smashes into you. It does hit you for a lot though, and you can only attack it in its mouth, which means that when it's on the bottom of this arena, you can't hurt it at all. It's much better to take your time and guarantee that you'll get a hit without getting hit back, then risk things and get hurt, because we'll lose our hit points very quickly. And while we have a lot of magic, I'd rather not burn through it all, as we're unlikely to get a level from this. And so, Jim fights the Metal Crab in a cave, and no one will believe Jim that he actually did this because there are no witnesses. I can imagine the story afterwards. And then, I found a giant metal crab! A giant metal crab? I don't believe you at all, they don't exist. No, they really do! It was plated in metal! What kind of metal? The metallic kind? And then nobody believed him. As you can hear there, we're trying to attack there at the claws and leg, and that doesn't work. It's only the face that this metal crab is weak in, so we're going to stab it in the face quite a lot. And we haven't been hit so far. That's quite good. Normally I get hit at least a few times. But normally I'm being a little bit reckless. This time, I'm taking all the time that I have. You really don't want to even be too far north on that tiny bridge, because if you are, and I got hit there because I stayed there way too long, and we took quite a lot of damage. We went from 86 to 59 health in one hit. Definitely want to have the Cure magic equipped here. Don't know why I had fire still ready to go. Maybe it is weak to fire. And as you can see there, the hitbox is extremely large. I was nowhere near the Metal Crab, but we still got hit. I think it's because you can see the leg shuffling on the sprite. Even when the leg is not there, that hitbox is still considering that it is there. It has a very wide hitbox, and quite a tall one as well. Basically, you don't want to be on the bridge at all when it's moving. You want to head immediately south on the bridge and move into one of the large open areas. The game does give you a lot of places to go to avoid getting hit, and so you might as well take advantage of them. It's gonna take a few more hits to die, but when it does die, we'll be able to move on. We're not going to get any magic or any awesome items for defeating the metal crab, we're just going to be able to progress. There are going to be quite a few bosses in this game where our only reward is being able to get past them. The game is not always generous like it was with the Hydra when it gave us a spell. That said, there aren't that many more spells for the game to give us, so I'll just take the experience and move on. And one miss there, but we'll get a hit here. Excellent. I like using the spears. I like using them more than the swords, but there are a lot more swords in the game than there are spears. And one miss there, but one hit here, and the metal crab has been defeated, and we got hit by the explosion. Defeated metal crab. And the stairs open for us to progress, which is good. We're going to equip the silver sword now, because if memory serves, a lot of enemies in the final part of this cave can only really be hit by magic or the silver sword. There aren't enemies here as we've come down the stairs, but if we came back I'm sure there would be. Here are some ghosts. As you recall, they can be hit by the silver sword, and they also inflict the... Did I equip the correct sword? I'm just double checking. I think I did, because all I heard was the sound that it wasn't working. I think these can get... Yeah, they can get hit by the sword. I wonder why that didn't work there. Need to be careful though, they can turn invisible, and they can inflict dark on you, which does make them turning invisible that much more deadly. Careful, Jim. A few more hits. One more. And nope, one more. Now that ghost is gone. And this ghost is gone. Excellent. And over here are some very easy to defeat enemies. These enemies are from the swamp, and they die just like enemies from the swamp. And lastly, we're going to fight some mummies and one of those very happy monsters. Hello, I'm in the final room of this dungeon. Why are you... And then the monster was dead. The mummies will take a little bit longer, but we will defeat them. And we'll just... Oh, take a hit there, that's not good. One more mummy remains. I could just leave the mummy to its fate, but I want that experience. And so we move on, out of the cave and into here. This area has quite a lot of enemies, like these enemies here, that we will encounter some new ones eventually. Might as well take care of this fish. I don't remember if the fishes inflict poison. They inflict a lot of damage, that's for sure, and they move quite quickly. We still have a lot of MP though, so we should be fine. Might as well equip that were-axe now, because I think these enemies are affected by the were-axe. I'm not going to avoid getting hit there. And one hit, and another one, and one more, and you are dead. And you too shall perish. Not from one hit from the were-axe, but probably two. Alright, one. Oh wait, maybe it was only one hit you needed. And we can go down here. There are going to be a few diverging paths. We need to sort of navigate our way through this area, because there'll be a few places that we can see that we can go to, but we can't immediately head in the direction of. There are 3 pathways we can choose here. To the left leads to nothing. So we'll kill the enemies and then move on, because experience is always nice. Goodbye, flying fish. I have no idea how you work. Goodbye, giant mole monster. You really should have equipped a weapon rather than just try to claw at Jim, as he is wearing impregnable gold armor. And he gained a level. Even better. We're going to gain some more power, because we always need more power, and with this power, we shall kill this enemy, and move in this direction. You may think that over here is something important, and it's a little bit important, but it's not the direction to progress. The direction to progress is down. Over here are new and dangerous enemies that throw rocks at us and jump around and turn us into a Moogle. We're going down here and we're waiting for the Moogle status to wear off because, oh dear, that would have been terrible if we got hit there. We'd have died. And unrelated to that, we're going to save because I don't want to die there. There are 2 of them there. No thank you. You can keep leaving the screen and coming back to rearrange how many enemies there are in any particular area. And we didn't want 2 of those jumping enemies because they are dangerous. There is an X-Cure, and what is in here? But a shop. We may want to buy a few things. For instance, we may want to buy another mattock, and we may want to buy another set of keys. Do we want to sell anything right now? The answer is, I don't think we do. So we'll just hold on to everything that we have. Actually, there is something we want to sell. And that is that we want to sell the battle axe. I don't think the game's actually going to let us sell the battle axe. Ah yes, that is right. The game won't let you sell the basic version of weapons that you need to solve puzzles. In that way, the game ensures that you can't get yourself in an unwinnable situation, which on the one hand is good, but on the other hand means that we're going to have the axe and the chain and the sickle in our inventory forever, which is bad. But we can just get rid of other items as we move on. Let's keep exploring, shall we? Over here is an area where we follow the sea. And we may want to follow the sea. I don't quite remember the route we have to take to get through here. Come this way, Mr. Fish. One more hit, and you shall be dead. And you're dead. We have 14,000 gold. Eventually we'll find something to spend that on. And that something had better be very expensive, otherwise we're just going to be hoarding money forever. It's just, yep, you are gone. And this leads to here. As you can see, we need to head to that area that's blocked off. We have nothing that will get through those, spikes? Crystals? The game never really says what they are, so we're going to head down here, and here are some of those dangerous enemies. We want to throw our axe at them, because that ensures that they don't hit us, and we definitely don't want to turn into a Moogle. Not with an enemy that's throwing lots of rocks around anyway. Careful, we have no idea when they're going to land. You can't tell because there's no shadow, so you really need to be careful. Fortunately, you can just throw your axe at them whenever you like, which is good. And over here... Ah, I think it's one of those healing areas. And it is! Excellent. We'll remember where that is. We're probably never going to use it ever again. But over here is another set of stairs, and I imagine these stairs are going to lead to progress. Let's find out, shall we? Up we go, and this leads... Uh-oh. This is not good. There are two of them, and they're jumping around. Maybe if I'm careful I can throw this axe and hit one of them. I was hoping to hit both of them, but I'll take hitting one of them. Aha! And we missed. You really need to work on your accuracy when you're throwing giant battle axes, Jim. It's just not up to par. Fortunately, you managed to hit it that time, which is good. And now we need to... Oh, I've got to be careful there. That could have turned out really badly. If we deal with the other enemy first... Ooh, we got a level up already. They must give a lot of experience. Let's get some more wisdom, shall we? Marvellous. And you, sir, you do not escape death, just like the others didn't escape death. Do we want to head up the left or the right-hand one? Let's go at the right-hand one, shall we? And avoid these enemies here. And this leads... Ooh, it leads to some sort of shop. Or is this an inn? The answer is, it's a weapon shop. Aha! It has opal equipment, and this is likely far better than the gold equipment that we have. And so, we are making our armour out of precious stones now. I debate if this is any better than having armour made of gold, but it is better than the armour made of gold. So we're going to buy all of it, and then we're going to equip it. Remember all that money that I said we had? Most of it is now gone. But we have some really good equipment now, because we've now gone up to 60 defense power, we've now gone to 65 defense power, and we have an opal shield, which means we're going to block a lot of projectiles. I'll wager we're going to block those rocks now. We'll be back for you later. And I couldn't throw the axe over there because we were facing up. Need to be very careful that I don't get hit by that one, and ha-ha! You jumped. Well played, enemy that bounces around that I've no idea of the name of. I'm going to call you Springy Steve. Let's move on and try and avoid Springy Steve. Up here we go, and we're going to avoid you, which is good. And now we are in a place that has a Springy Steve or two. Fortunately, we can throw these axes up, and there are also some trees that we can probably take care of. Just kill you, and we'll wait for you. Just need to wait for this to go up a little bit more. And ooh, that is a long jump. But you failed to kill me. You tried, but you failed. And we could go this way. I get the feeling we need to go this way, as the short route is probably going to fail. Just defeat you with one hit, and then a second. We only need to hit you twice, which is good. And I don't think any of the areas on the overworld require Mattock, which is handy. There are only 2 foes here, as we continue our adventure, as we very, very slowly make progress, as opposed to Garuda, who is just flying. Why do our enemies have so much access to things that fly? It just makes it a little bit unfair, don't you think? It's almost like the odds are stacked against us. That is because the odds are stacked against us. We're sort of blindly chasing after Garuda in the hopes that we can catch up and in the hopes that we can stop Dark Lord and Julius. And we can't carry whatever they have, so we're going to drop something. What are we going to drop? We'll just drop a flame, we don't need them. What do you have? You have Ruby! I don't know if that was a good exchange, as we might have actually found a use for that flame. Either way, we have 31 MP, so we're not really going to miss it that much. Aha! What a fine throw there! And if we head in this direction, what is over here? There is another way down. There's also a way down to the screen, in the screen on my left. Maybe we'll go that way first and see if there's anything important over there. We'll be able to tell if we find an important cave entrance. Ah, there is that area, and it sort of loops along. We definitely want to head to there, though. So we'll just defeat all the enemies in here, after healing, because I accidentally ran into one, and we're just going to wait. Any day now, Jim, you can throw that axe and completely miss because you cut down a tree. This is going to be tricky, isn't it? Just need to be very careful. Uh-oh, we're a Moogle. We want to go over here. There are no enemies over here. That is very fortunate, because we'd have took a colossal amount of damage if they'd have run into us. We've been turning into a Moogle with alarming frequency thanks to those enemies, because they keep appearing on the edges of the screen. And we've been turned into a Moogle again, and we nearly got hit again. We're not doing well here at all. If we move in there with a whole bar, maybe we can do better. And I think we're going to do better this time. Excellent. One of them has been defeated. And now we can very carefully move down here and get rid of some of these trees. There we go. Much better. And we're going to wait for you to stop bouncing around. We may be waiting for quite a while. We're just going to throw an axe. Oh, no, wait. We didn't throw an axe, because I think that tree blocked the way. Curses, tree! You impeded my progress in defeating this bouncy foe that is now gone. Haha. And they drop Ruby, so we really don't want that. Then again, it is worth more than some of the other items we're just holding on to, so let's see if we can get rid of something. Let's see. We could get rid of a cure at this point, because we have X cures in a small amount, and they're much better. There we go. We'll sell those rubies later. Down we go! And there are some easier enemies. You know what? I'm really happy to see you guys. You're far simpler than the springy Steves that we've been encountering. And this way we go. After healing, of course. And there are some equally difficult enemies. That is good. And we hit you, and we hit you. And are you gone? You are also gone. Excellent. Up here is a cave, and we're going to enter this cave. Ah, I remember this cave. This cave is a maze, and there is something you want here. If you head up, you're going to find an area with a door, and that door is going to lead you to a boss. We don't want to go that way. We want to find our way towards where an important item is. And as you can see, there are some Mattock rocks here. We may be using Mattock a fair bit. At the moment, we can only head up. Every other route just brings us back to here. And if we go up, we'll find this foe that we can't use the axe on. What a surprise. They like you switching back to the silver sword a lot, don't they? But that's okay, because we can defeat this foe quite capably. If we head this way, there is a new enemy, a Minotaur that throws axes of his own. Well, we're going to axe him to stop doing that, and unfortunately the silver sword is not strong enough to defeat it in one hit. We're going to have to be very careful, because the Minotaur is very accurate, but we've gained yet another level up, which will entirely cancel out that hit that we just took. Excellent, we now have 103 hit points. We have finally broke through into the 3-digit hit points. And this foe is gone. What is in there? Well, we'll figure it out as soon as we defeated this Minotaur. Have at thee! And we can't carry that either. We're getting loads of things that we just can't carry. Well, it's time to get rid of this, I think, and find out what this is. The answer is, it's an X-Ether, which is really handy. And I think it's time to get rid of the Pure by now, because we're always going to have enough magic. In here is a Cure. Really should have kept the Pure, shouldn't I? Over here is one pumpkin enemy that we're just going to defeat, and up here is a wall that we can Mattock, which is good because we need to. There is an item here that is going to make Mattock obsolete if we can find it. The keyword here is if we can find it. We could have headed north and just immediately gone to the boss, and you can defeat the boss with Mattock. Not that you'd want to, but you can. And here is a puzzle, and it is a rather tricky puzzle in that you've got to defeat these enemies without destroying any of these boxes. Fortunately, we can do that quite capably with our silver sword. If you destroy any of those boxes, you're going to have to hope that one of those werewolves drops something, because if they don't, you'll have to leave and come back in. And I think the werewolves like respawning at an alarming frequency. Right, we're just going to wait for you to stop jumping around. Have you stopped jumping around? And I used the Mattock by mistake. It does hurt, but it wasn't very effective. And when we come back, folks, we will solve this exceptionally difficult puzzle and move further into this cave. But what will we uncover? Will we uncover something awesome, or will we just find a boss that we have to defeat? We'll find out soon enough. So I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later.